Pratik Kumar frá UTmessan og hann er sem sagt CEO og forstjóri og frumkvöðull í fyrirtæki sem heitir UTmessan. Það hóf störf 2010, starfsemi 2010 og hefur síðan vaxið vel og dafnað og er núna leiðandi fyrirtæki í heiminum í svokölluðu mirroring software. Áður en að hann hóf störf hjá og startaði UTmessan. Pratik vann hjá Nýherja og í Arjónbanka, en back in the days þá vann hann hjá VOS, eins og margir í þessum geira. Fyrirlesturinn hans er tilengaður þessu UTmessan fyrirtæki og fjallar tækni í nútíma kennslustofu og það verður að segjast eins og að þetta er eitthvað aðeins með hörpu að gera en ekki UTmessan sem er að stýra okkur en við munum fyrirlesturinn verður á ensku en við tökum við spurningum seinna og förum yfir málin í hlénu á íslensku einnig.
Yeah, as you know, my name is Pratik Kumar. I'm the CEO and founder of UTmessan. The company was originally built for building apps in the App Store, and since then we built many apps, obviously. Our primary objective was to build apps for the App Store, Apple App Store, but of course since then we've slowly moved over to building software, and interestingly, as we started building software, Microsoft and Apple also started calling their software apps. So we're back to having UTmessan as a relevant name for software development. So the first, I'm going to give you a brief history of what we've been doing so far. The company was formed in 2010, and the first app we built was called Remote HD, and it was received very well. Apple also featured it in the App Store. It even put it on the apple.com website, and this was the most important thing that I did back in the days. I started doing this myself, and the app was a huge success. It ran for about more than 2 years in top grossing apps in the App Store. The next, I started working on Airframe. It was an app that would allow you to stream AirPlay content from one iOS device to another. It also became hugely popular, and of course this is a screen capture at some point in the top grossing utilities in the App Store. We had Remote HD and Airframe going head to head in top grossing. The interesting thing with us is that we never built apps that were free. The idea behind there is make something useful, give people what they want, and they'll happily give you money for it. So why give it for free? And this has been working great for us. We don't do any marketing on our apps. We just build solid products, put it out there, and critics love it. They post great reviews, and everything else just follows. So after Airframe, we did Air Media Center. This was also a very successful application. There's a live hacker coverage for it. After Air Media Center, I started working on Air Server for Mac. This has been a very successful product, so successful that we had to stop developing all the apps and just focus on Air Server. It was designed for home entertainment, but over the years, we noticed that the education sector got extremely interested in this. they won't just stop buying it. So we had to, make it better for education. So at some point, I mean, it's been covered by everyone and everyone out there. Here's a clip from Wired magazine. Then, of course, the next logical thing was to develop it for PC. And recently, we released Universal, a version for PC. The difference being that AirServer Universal can also do Miracast. So this is the first and the only app right now in the world that can do AirPlay and Miracast. We have no competitors in this field. Here's a recent review by Apple TV Hacks about AirServer Universal. And yeah, so now let's focus on AirServer. Simply put, I mean, it is the best way to describe it is to visualize it as a modern classroom technology solution. I can show you a video that will give you an overview about what this thing is all about.
AirServer is the world's most advanced AirPlay receiver for Mac and PC. It allows you to mirror your iOS device to a bigger screen. Using AirServer, you can share your iPad or iPhone display to your computer, and from there, to your projector, smartboard, or HD TV. As a teacher, you have the freedom to move around your class with your iPad in hand. Multiple, simultaneous connections are supported.
Whoops.
AirServer is the world's most advanced AirPlay receiver for Mac and PC. It allows you to mirror your iOS device to a bigger screen. Using AirServer, you can share your iPad or iPhone display to your computer, and from there, to your projector, smartboard, or HD TV. As a teacher, you have the freedom to move around your class with your iPad in hand. Multiple, simultaneous connections are supported, giving students the ability to share their ideas and collaborate with the rest of the class. And because educational environments vary, not just in size and lighting, but in network security and access, we've added features such as picture enhancement and password protection. At home, AirServer allows you to play movies or share photos with friends and family on a big screen. You can also stream your favorite music. Compatible with a wide variety of AirPlay-enabled apps, you can stream YouTube, Spotify, Vivo, and Air Media Center. In business, when you need to get your ideas across, AirServer gives you the freedom to direct your presentations how you really want to, with no need to stay within arm's reach of your computer. AirServer also brings out the gamer in you, allowing you to play your favorite games on a big screen, alone or with friends. And finally, teachers and developers can record their classes, games, and apps at outstanding quality. Now making demo videos and tutorials is easy. AirServer is available to download direct from airserver.com. Share your life with AirServer.
So just so we understand how this works, because it's a little bit tricky, I have an overview of how exactly it works. You install AirServer on a PC, which you connect using HDMI or VGA cable or anything like that to a big screen or a projector. The big screen doesn't have to be a smart TV or anything. It's basically computer projecting on a big screen. Once you do that, you can bring your devices in the classroom and just project the screen over to the big screen in real time. The screen as well as the audio in sync. And it supports multiple connections side by side. And you would have noticed that we have all kinds of devices here, not just iOS devices. So they can all project side by side. So you're collaborating in front of everyone in a classroom by just having this software installed on one computer that's connected to a display. the interesting bit is also that you install nothing on the client side. Everything is built in. On iPhones, you don't have to install anything. If you go on screen projection in AirPlay, AirServer will just show up there. You just project and it's done. On Android phones, screen mirroring is supported from most devices, so there's nothing to install. All Windows 8 and 8.1 computers have Project My Screen. AirServer is fully compatible with that as well. We actually work closely with Microsoft and Intel in capturing that technology, and we're the only ones right now that can do this. So all you have to do is buy one license of AirServer, install it on one teacher's computer, and you pay nothing for any of the clients. And everyone can just project. You don't have to manage software on multiple computers or anything like that. So these days, everyone's talking about BYOD. And I just wanted to give you a little bit background of, in my opinion, how BYOD came about and why this is so important. So back in the old days, somebody had this great idea. Let's buy an iPad for every teacher, which was very interesting because iPads were becoming very popular. Then they went on and like, this was a great success. Let's buy iPad for every student also. Now the big question comes up, who's paying for this? It was the governments, they started this. Then it was the schools. And then the parents as well pitched in. What happens after 3 years when all these devices need to be upgraded? Because even iOS devices don't support iPhone 4s anymore. So what happens then? Who's going to buy it all over again? So the IT staff realized that this is a problem and it can't go on like this. So if they can just allow people to bring their own devices, they don't have to keep buying devices for everyone, which is good business for us. So this is what happened. Education also is the biggest vertical that consumes BYOD. 95% of BYOD is actually used in education. So BYOD is quite advanced now, but it started with the first generation where people started building cloud-based applications. It's been around for some time, even before all these devices became popular. There was an issue with some people having a PC, some people having a Mac, and you needed to write software that would work on both. So somebody's like, why not use a web browser? And that solves everything, works on both devices. That was BYOD as well. Then second generation, where the whole world started buying iOS devices and everyone started moving towards apps. So they started building apps that were cloud-based. And a good example of that would be Office. It exists on iPads, Android, and of course the Microsoft devices as well. Evernote is another example. But the issue with that is you need cloud-based computing, you need internet access, and you also have to have those specific apps available on those platforms. What if on a certain platform your favorite app isn't available? You can't collaborate across platforms. So there is a need to build something so these are not, this is not a limitation. In an ideal world, third generation would solve everything. That would mean people could collaborate in close proximity. It could be a meeting room. It could be a classroom where people in the same class can collaborate just because they're close to each other. It should work across devices. It should work across platforms. And the most powerful thing about this is also that it should work across apps. So let's say I'm a user that likes using Evernote. There might be another user on another platform, Microsoft, let's say, Windows, and they want to use OneNote. We're doing the same thing, but why should people be forced to use a certain app? They should be able to use whatever they like. So this is what we want to achieve, right? AirServer does this. It's the only app right now that allows you to project the entire screen. So every app doesn't have to build a variant on different platform. So if a user wants to use a specific app, another one wants to use another app, they can both project their screens. And it doesn't matter whether the app allows collaboration or not. They would be able to collaborate in front of everyone. Then, of course, there is the fourth generation. I can't talk too much about it. It's currently under development. So this is a typical scenario. A teacher in a classroom with an iPad, and you'd notice that she's not tethered to a desk. She's free to walk around. She's projecting a screen on the big screen, and she doesn't have to walk over to every student showing what she's doing on her iPad, which is pretty powerful by itself. Here's what we also do. The student wants to collaborate as well, and the student's using an Android device. It's an HTC One, and is able to project side by side with the teacher in front of the classroom. This is what AirServer does currently. The next buzzword is the flipped classroom, and we, of course, are totally sold on the idea. We, like I said before, we didn't build this app for education, but it just got really popular there. We started realizing that people are using this in a flipped classroom scenario. We got loads of feedback from teachers around the world saying they started using AirServer and they've seen increased participation from kids. So in a typical scenario, back in the old days, if a kid had to collaborate, he would have to come in front of the class and stand next to the whiteboard and, give out his ideas. And not everyone likes to do that. So a lot of kids would sit in the back and not participate in a classroom. With AirServer, you don't have to stand up. You just sit there with your device, and you're used to using your apps, and you can just project the display. So because of that, we are seeing increased participation in the flipped classroom scenario. And we also been working very close with Flip Class. It's one of those guys providing the flipped classroom software. And we realized that we need to do more in this field. So we added recording. What recording allows you to do is all these devices and the screens you're projecting, we can record it onto the computer of the teacher. And then we don't force people to use our software suite to do, to share and all those things. We just hand over the recording to the teacher, and then they can upload it to YouTube if they like, share it with the whole world. They can share it on a local network with specific students, and the students who missed out can go back home and go over what they missed. So this is very powerful. So I'm sure some of you would like to get some statistics. So I pulled something down. US alone is 50% of our market. Rest of the world, 50%. Interestingly, Europe combined is about 40%. Education overall is 60%. 40% is the developers, consumers, and business licenses. Pricing. A couple of years back, I had a session here, and I decided to give AirServer free to all education institutes in Iceland. The offer still is valid. We've given out many licenses since then. If somebody wants a license, please email us at leve@airserver.com, and we will send a free license. So I'm talking very passionate about this product because this is a product I like. I'm not trying to sell it because we've already given it free to everyone. There's no need to sell it. Overall, all you need is one license per classroom, just on the receiving device. It's super cheap. It's depending on how many licenses one buys, it's approximately $10 a license. There are about 1.5 million licenses in use worldwide. There are roughly 1 million classrooms using AirServer right now. And given there are about 10 kids a classroom, there are about 10 million students using AirServer as we speak. And we've been growing rapidly. We have about 65% average year-over-year growth rate. We're just doing what we're doing. Any questions?
Yeah, I've got a question. I need somebody from your company to my institute on Monday. Thank you. This is good. Please, floor is open.
I was wondering, have you had any discussion with hardware manufacturers? So
Yes.
pre-installed, because many of the hardware today have either AirPlay or some just aircraft.
Yeah, the thing is, we're so few, and we have to pick our battles. I mean, we've had requests from automotive manufacturers. We've had offers from projector manufacturers. That just comes every few weeks. There's some projector manufacturer want to do something. But really, we need really talented people, and we are having really hard time finding them in Iceland. Because the stuff we are doing, we're only using C++. And you can get a lot of .NET developers, but finding C++ developers that have 20 plus years of experience and have been doing programming in C++ is extremely difficult to find in Iceland. So because of limitations in growth, we've been kind of putting everyone away. We are currently working with some ODMs, device manufacturers, and we are looking into possibilities with them.
How you said unlimited devices?
Yes.
The teacher is managing the access to the...
Yes. So we have different password options. You can, only the people that have the password can connect, or you can have on-screen password wherein everyone who's in the room, if they try to connect, you get a prompt on the screen, and that has a passcode generated for the classroom. So everyone who can visually see it can type in the passcode and connect. So one license is on the teacher's laptop, which is connected to the big screen. There could be 100 people sitting in the classroom, or lesser or whatever, and they all can connect simultaneously. We just keep splitting the screen into smaller segments as more and more connections come in.
Does the teacher need to approve the connection from the students?
Not really, but what she can do is just close it. We're trying to keep it simple.
You said the answer runs on Mac and Windows.
Yes,
Any plans on extending it to other,
we're working on it.
like Raspberry?
Raspberry is too underpowered for us because there are few things we do. When we get the stream, it's like what Instagram does for you, add effects to your photos. We do it with a live video feed. We enhance it using the GPU on the computer, and we manipulate the sharpness and everything so it's very easy to read on the screen. So we're going to have to throw all those features away if we're going to go over to Raspberry Pi. But we're trying it out. If down the road, if it gets better, surely.
In the world map you showed, and you showed Europe, is there a pattern in the pickup or in the penetration that you have?
Usually English-speaking countries and the countries that have more money, they seem to invest in better technologies, and that's where we have more sales.
How about levels, grades and levels?
Yes, we are going, we're doing a lot of business with K-12, but we're also doing a lot of business with higher education. So I would say it's 50-50.
More questions? Very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.